Page 213. And if they become knowing or conscious in the truth, and in equitableness or fairness, and they do not mix these up with untruths and inequity or unfairness, then they will find their peace and be rightly led, and truly the evidence for this will be given to them when they raise themselves up to the weight or the level of knowing ones of the truth and become wise. The laws and recommendations of the primal wellspring of all vitalities or creation are given to you so that you may recognize and follow them and be led rightly in your existence, so that you may be creators of good things and also instruct or teach your descendants, so that also your offspring or children's children, etc., may be fair ones or responsible ones, and righteous ones or conscientious ones, supporters of the truth, of equitableness or fairness, and of virtues. And all in the group of the few before you who were fair ones or responsible ones, and righteous ones or conscientious ones, as well as ones knowing of the truth, they were led or guided by the quote, Goblet of the Truth, which is the teaching of the prophets, the teaching of the truth, the teaching of the Spirit, the teaching of the life, as is given through the truthliness of the laws and recommendations of the primal wellspring of all vitalities or creation. Therefore, you are recommended to do the same as the group of the few before you, who were your forefathers and foremothers, and from whose lines you proceeded as their descendants, or children's children, etc. And truly, those in the group of the few before you who were fair ones or responsible ones, righteous ones or conscientious ones, and ones knowing of the truth, they were all talented amongst people of your kind, or human beings, through their own efforts, and they followed the truth, as also they awakened or encouraged their brothers and sisters and their children and friends to the truth, so that they led or guided themselves on the right way. Truly, that is the leadership or guidance of the truth itself, so that all who turn to it take the right way out of themselves, and do not pray to gods and tin gods, and not to people of your kind or human beings, because doing this is an ineffective activity, or fruitless / without success. And truly, these few before you were the ones who comprehended or recognized the teaching of the prophets as truth, and followed it, and also protected the true prophethood. But those amongst you who, as far descendants, or children's children, etc., have seized the dominance over all evil and inequity or unfairness, as well as over unrighteousness or consciencelessness and virtuelessness, you show those before you ingratitude for what they have done for you, and therefore you only show ingratitude for what the prophets do for you, who trustingly give you the teaching of the truth, the teaching of the Spirit, the teaching of the life. There are only few amongst you who are rightly led or guided by the teaching of the prophets, and the true prophets who do not demand any payment from you for their care or favor / effort. Not only do they teach you in modesty the teaching of the laws and recommendations of the primal wellspring of all vitalities or creation, but they teach it as an admonishment and signposting for all the mass of all people of your kind or humankind. And truly, the teaching of the prophets is no discipline or coercion, and does not bear in itself any Gewalt or terror, because heeding of or following of / integrating with the teaching is given as unbiddenness or free will, so that everyone may decide for himself or herself whether he or she wants to integrate with it or not. Truly, those amongst you do not appraise the truth and the teaching of the truth, the teaching of the Spirit, the teaching of the life correctly, if you think that it reveals nothing to you, that you do not already know, because truly you are inexperienced or unknowing in the laws and recommendations of the primal wellspring of all vitalities, or creation, and in the laws and recommendations of its appearance, or nature. Therefore, a light, or instruction, has to be set for you, and a leadership, or guidance, has to be given through the true prophets, so that you become rightful in your thoughts and feelings, and in your inner world, or consciousness, and follow the way of the truth. And consider whether you treat the teaching of the prophets like a shred of cheap fabric, or material/cloth, or whether you accept it as a valuable treasure. In this wise, you show through your behavior which attitude or mentality you are the child of. Truly, even if you attempt to conceal your attitude or mentality, then it can be seen or read in your face, so you therefore cannot conceal or hide what your attitude or mentality is. So you earn yourselves honor or defilement from people of your kind, or fellow human beings, depending on what your face reveals. Truly, if you want to reveal yourselves in defilement, then continue to enjoy your wrongdoings, and continue your vain and foolish prattle, which marks or stamps you as idiots or fools, until you finally allow true discernment or intellect to come forth in you, when you overcome your unintellect or dumbness in yourselves, and you deliberately or consciously turn to the truth and the truth teaching. And truly, what is being announced to you through the teaching of the truth, the teaching of the Spirit, the teaching of the life, and is being revealed to you through the true prophets, is full of boon or prosperousness, and of what you shall follow and fulfill or master through the laws and recommendations of the primal wellspring of all vitalities, or creation. And therefore it is the teaching of the warning, so that you shall not do things that are unrightful, and not do things of lovelessness, virtuelessness, and unrighteousness, or consciencelessness, as you shall not perform bloody deeds, or murder and manslaughter, not wage battles or wars, and not destroy the works or achievements of people of your kind, or human beings. Just as you shall not give yourselves over to unpeace and unfreedom, or bondage, dissonance or disharmony, and jealousy, nor hatred, persecution, strife, or the pathological craving for revenge and pathological craving for retaliation. If you fabulate or invent lies against the primal wellspring of all vitalities, or creation, or claim that the teaching of the truth, the teaching of the Spirit, the teaching of the life has become obvious or recognizable to you, and claim that you have understood it, although this does not correspond to the truth, then you are not only unfair ones, or irresponsible ones, and liars, but also slanderers or calumniators. And if you commit such inequity or unfairness, and spread lies and slanders or calumnies, then you are malefactors or doers of misdeeds, and slanderers against the truth, which you see in the maws or jaws of death, or unknowledge of the truth, from which hands are outstretched, attempting to drag you into depravity. And truly, if you allow yourselves to be dragged into the depravity of unknowledgeness of the truth, then your reward is defilement, because you say false things against the laws and recommendations of the primal wellspring of all vitalities, or creation, and slander the truth. Therefore, you are turning yourselves away from the signs or evidence of the truth with disdain. Those amongst you who commit outrages against the truth, you are probably looking for the real truth, one after the other, just as you move or bestir yourselves to this. But you are not looking to the truth itself, but to gods and tin gods and their servants, or hands/helpers, as is erroneously taught to you by the false prophets of the untruth, through godlinesses, or religions, and sub-godlinesses, or sects/cults. Truly, you who are looking for the real truth and nevertheless are following the fallacious teachings of false prophets, you can only find the truth if you have intercessors, or counselors, for you, and you leave the false teachings behind yourselves. But by doing so, do not assume or believe that your intercessors, or counselors, for finding the real truth are intercessors or counselors of a god or tin god, because if they were such, then they would continue to ensnare you in inequity or unfairness, and lie, in slander or calumny, and in unaccountability, as well as in all things of unright. Truly, intercessors or advisors of the teaching of the truth, the teaching of the Spirit, the teaching of the life, do not proclaim to you lies and slanders or calumnies of the truth by binding or linking you to gods and tin gods. Rather, they teach you the real truth of the laws and recommendations of the primal wellspring of all vitalities or creation. If you do not listen to the intercessors or counselors of the true teaching, the true truth teaching, then you will be cut off from the laws and recommendations of the primal wellspring of all vitalities or creation, so everything will disappear from you, which you assume or believe to receive through the truth. Truly, only the laws and recommendations of the primal wellspring of all vitalities or creation allow the seeds to germinate that you put or sow into the earth, so that the living in it may come forth, which you imagine or consider to be dead, but is only sleeping, and has life within it, which, however, thrives again and grows up to a new aliveness through moisture, or wetness/water. Therefore, new life comes forth out of the apparent lifeless. Learn from this, that you also are a seed, so to speak, which is reawakened, or rebirth of the spirit form, after death through the spirit body, or spirit form. Truly, be connected to this teaching, and do not let yourselves be turned away or restrained from it, for the sake of false teachings by false prophets. Let the day break in you, or start the search for the truth, so that you may escape from the rest, or semi-consciousness, of the night, or unknowledgeness of the truth, and the weak light, or searching, of the moon, or semi-consciousness, in order to show your deference to the sun, or wisdom, so that you may make your studies of the teaching and take the necessary time for this. And truly, the lights, or celestial bodies, in the firmament are also created for you, that you are able to maintain the right direction with their help in the day and in the night, when you are going across the land and traveling over the waters or seas, or flying through the airs, if this will be possible for you. Truly, these signs or evidence are presented down to the last detail for people of your kind, or human beings, who have the knowledge of this. And as you have proceeded from the earth through its sequence or process of unfolding or development, from animated or organic acidic waters or amino acids, and from the minutest creatures or microorganisms, and you have unfolded or developed into people of your kind or human beings, so earth is also given to you in order for you to have a dwelling and a place to stay on it, until you raise yourselves into the airs and search for new earths or worlds/planets in the firmaments or universe as new homesteads. And truly, these signs or evidence are presented down to the last detail for people of your kind or human beings, if you want to understand it, if you open your ears and are connected to your true discernment or intellect, by taking the teaching of the prophets as the real truth. And truly, the laws and recommendations of the primal wellspring of all vitalities or creation decide or determine everything according to its value. Therefore, also, that you unfold or evolve yourselves in the striving for knowledge and wisdom, so that you will one day explore or control the appearance or nature, and make the waters or rain fall from the clouds according to your will, and all growth to be brought forth or formed according to your wish or will. Therefore, everything will blossom and thrive according to your will, and you will make road corn or cereals, and many other things sprout according to your consideration or discretion, when you change it in its nature, or gene manipulation. Therefore you will bring forth or create growth or plants, of which you yourselves are the creators, which however can only prosper through the laws of the primal wellspring of all vitalities or creation. And through your unfolding or evolution, you bring forth gardens in which many growths or plants prosper, which are similar or unsimilar to one another, so that you have a wide variety of provision or food from all parts of the world. Truly, these are signs or evidence for all those amongst you who understand the truth. But as you transform or manipulate the genes of growths or plants in their growing and their yield, as well as transforming or manipulating the genes of animals and other creatures, and you modify or breed them, then you cannot raise yourselves up as gods and tin gods, or place yourselves at the side of the primal wellspring of all vitalities or creation, because it alone is given the might to create out of itself created creations, or creatures/creations/life forms, of all species and forms. People of your kind, or human beings, however, are created creations, or creations, of the primal wellspring of all vitalities, or creation. Therefore you are integrated into its laws and recommendations, so you can only bring forth or create new created creations, or creatures/creations/life forms, and growths or plants, through transformation or gene manipulation, and change or breeding, as is permitted to you through the laws of the primal wellspring of all vitalities or creation. Do not be presumptuous, and do not regard yourselves as rivals of the primal wellspring of all vitalities or creation, because no matter how knowing or conscious and wise you may be, you as people of your kind, or human beings, can never be equal to it. Through its laws and recommendations, you have come forth from the earth as people of your kind, or human beings. But do not impute to the primal wellspring of all vitalities, or creation, any sons or any daughters in your unknowledge, because it is sublime, or superior, over having other mights next to itself, except itself. The primal wellspring of all vitalities or creation is the sole and unaccompanied creator of all firmaments or universe, and earths or worlds/planets, and lights or celestial bodies in the firmament, and therefore of all vitalities, or life forms/existence. Therefore, how should it have sons and daughters, as it has no companion, and created everything alone, and is knowing or conscious of all things? And truly, the primal wellspring of all vitalities or creation is the sole might of all presence or existence in the firmaments or universe, of all earths or worlds/planets, and lights or celestial bodies in the firmament, as well as of all things over which it is the guardian. The eyesight of people of your kind, or human beings, cannot reach the primal wellspring of all vitalities or creation in its value or power of its invisible spirit body, or invisible spirituality/spirit energy. But you can see its creation in the appearance or nature, and in the firmaments or universe, as well as on the earths or worlds/planets, and in the lights or celestial bodies of the firmament. Therefore, it, which is uncomprehensible to you, reaches you with its fullness. Through the firmaments or universe, and through the earths or worlds/planets, and also through the appearance, or nature, through all created creations, or life forms, and all things, you are given visible evidence of the presence, or existence, of the primal wellspring of all vitalities, or creation. And whoever amongst you sees and comprehends or recognizes them, it is to their own benefit. But whoever is blind, or does not see, i.e., recognize the evidence, this is to their own disadvantage, because they do not recognize themselves as guardians over what has been given to them through the primal wellspring of all vitalities, or creation, and has been entrusted for protection and preservation. If you heed all the manifold signs, or unsurpassabilities, in the appearance, or nature, then you will comprehend or recognize the laws and recommendations of the primal wellspring of all vitalities, or creation, so that you will learn to interpret them and to make them clear to yourselves of what importance they are for people of your kind, or human beings, and for the existence, so that you may know about the real truth and no longer go into confusion. Follow what is revealed to you by the signs, or unsurpassabilities, of the appearance, or nature, so you comprehend or recognize that there are no gods, or tin gods, and no people of your kind, or human beings, who could accomplish such miracles, or outstanding things, as the primal wellspring of all vitalities, or creation, does, and presents, or gives, to you, as a gift of love. Therefore, turn yourselves away from gods and tin gods, and people of your kind, who raise themselves up as gods, or servants of gods, or servants of tin gods, and lead you into delusion and servitude, or bondage, of godlinesses, or religions, and sub-godlinesses, or sects/cults. Servants of gods and servants of tin gods compel your power to act, or will, so that you fall prey to a belief, or assumptions, in gods or tin gods, and place these gods and tin gods at the side of the primal wellspring of all vitalities, or creation. But heed the truth that you shall be guardians of the real truth, and watchers thereover, that the teaching of the truth, the teaching of the Spirit, the teaching of the life, keeps out all untruth, and inequity, or unfairness, all unrighteousness, or consciencelessness, and dissonance, or disharmony, from the world, so that true love and peace shall prevail amongst all you people of your kind, or humankind, as well as freedom and consonance, or harmony, so that all hatred, all jealousy, and all strife, all outrage, or torture/Gewalt/coercion, all bloody deeds, or murder in any form, all battles, or war, and all pathological craving for revenge and pathological craving for retaliation may disappear or vanish, just like destruction, lying, deceit, slander, or calumny, misdeeds, and defilement, or crime. And do not vilify or humiliate those who call on or search for the truth and fight against it, in doing so without knowledge, or unknowingly, because they do not know how to come in contact with it on the right way, and therefore do wrong things. Therefore you shall be guides and intercessors, or counselors, to them, so that they appear pleased towards the truth. Find the right way, and understand the truth-teaching and all its things. And if you do this, then they will proclaim to you the prosperousness, or success, of their learning, and they will be thankful to you, and announce to you what efforts they have made.